Welcome to Hefty Heavy. This week we are going to be talking about the barbells I have selected for my home gym, the different characteristics, and which ones may be best for you. So stick around. So to begin, we have the Rogue Ohio bar. This is going to be your typical power bar that you see in nearly every gym. It is 86.75 inches from end to end, has 16.4 inch sleeves, 28.5 millimeter diameter shaft. You can get them with or without center knurling. I like the center knurling for when we do decide to squat with it, although we'll be going over the Texas squat bar here in a moment. But you can get them without center knurling. That's more of just a preference if you're going to be using it for more deadlifts, or you have a squat bar. You may not necessarily need that center knurling. Also depends on the federation that you compete in, whichever your federation may be if you compete. But we went with the Ohio bar because it's what we're used to. Before we started really training all the time at home, our gym had Ohio power bars, and that's what I compete with as well. So anytime that I bench in competition, it's always been a Rogue Ohio bar. I like them. Their bearings are pretty nice. They have a lifetime warranty on their product. This one specifically is $295 retail. We got it on sale for $260. And part of the reason that we got it as well is because the last bar that I'm going to show you, which I'm not going to add in as many details about because they don't even sell it anymore, I bent it, which we'll get to that story in a little bit. But this would be the first bar that you want to buy when making a home gym, because all the way around you can use it for whatever you want to use it for. So Rogue Ohio bar, and now we'll have the Texas squat bar. Here we have the Texas squat bar. This one is 96.5 inches from end to end. It is the longest bar that I own. It has 31.75 millimeter diameter shaft, which is really nice. We'll talk about more why in a second. 16 and 7/8 inch loadable sleeve. So the difference between what I talked about on the Ohio power bar sleeve and this one is, when I say 16.78 inches, that means from here to the end is the loadable allowance that you have. It does not count the collar here into effect. These are also known for having knurling almost all the way across the bar. The only smooth areas are right here, and the markings for your fingers. These are extremely nice. I got this one because I bent my other bar squatting. I think it's comparable to the Kabuki squat bar, which I just looked. It looks like they've actually dropped their prices. Before, I've seen them at $800 something. Currently, they're down to $700. This one in particular is $420 if you buy it brand new. I got it used from a gentleman who messed up his shoulder and is no longer able to get into your normal squat position. But these sit on your shelf on the back of your shoulders extremely well, especially if you low bar squat like I do. You can see here how I set up into my squat, get under it, really make sure that my shelf is solid before I step out. Having the knurling all the way across is extremely nice, makes me feel nice and stable. The other great thing about these bars is they have almost no whip. You can load them up as much as you want to, and when you're stepping out or during your squat, you don't feel the whip on your back. It feels extremely solid all the way through the squat. I like to train the way that I'm going to compete, so having this is definitely extremely helpful with that. If you are trying to do the same thing, make sure that your federation allows the use of squat bars. Normally when you're looking at a competition, they'll tell you exactly what bars are going to be used for that competition in particular. So most of my competitions are Kabuki squat bars. having this one at a more affordable price, it's definitely extremely nice. A good Facebook find, which is what I highly recommend. I've been looking for one of these for probably about 7-8 months before this one popped up, and it was up for 5 or 6 hours before I got it. So you really got to stay on top of it if you're really looking for those good deals on any gym equipment. One key thing to know about squat bars as well is squat bars are 55 pounds rather than your usual 45 pounds. It's the only 55-pound bar I own. The rest are 45. The deadlift bar that we're about to go over is actually 44 pounds. It's 20 kilograms. But yeah, that is the Texas squat bar. So now we're going to move on to the Texas deadlift bar. Alright, here is the Texas deadlift bar. As you can see, this one is Cerakoted in a military green. This one was also a Facebook find for me. This bar currently goes for $410 on the Texas Power Bar website as is. It is 92.5 inches from end to end with 15.5-inch loadable sleeves. These things are fantastic for deadlifting because, as you can see here, when you start pulling, you pull all these slack out. It allows you to get into a better position and pull a few inches up out of the bar before you even get the entire bar up. Another thing that you'll notice with these bars is there is no center knurling. There's no center knurling because, especially when you're conventionally deadlifting, you don't want all that knurling catching on you, as it'll cause you to miss the lift, and or it's going to mess up your shins even more than you possibly already have. The comparable bar to this is the Kabuki PR deadlift bar, which is what I normally use in competition. Again, Kabuki is a lot more expensive. It is one of the most well-known deadlift bars. I would second it to this. I got this off a fellow powerlifter who was changing federations at the time. The federation he was changing to does not allow for deadlift bars, so if your federation doesn't allow for specialty bars like that, there's no point in having it. So I picked it up as a Facebook marketplace find for, I think it was $320, and I love this thing. It's extremely nice, takes a beating. Alright, now we're going to move on to my final bar, which is the first bar I ever had. Alright, so this is, once again, another power bar. This one is from Solid Bar Fitness. Can't really tell you how much I spent on it or how much it costs because they don't appear to make this exact model anymore. I got this one when I first started building my gym. This came with my rack, a few weights, and the bench. It's been really good to me. I bent it. It's now just it's a beater bar. As you can tell, it's been through a lot. It's got quite a bit of patina on it. Still got quite a bit of chalk on it. As I mentioned, I bought the Ohio Power Bar because I bent this one. I was squatting 475 one day and had my back all chalked up. I was working out without a shirt on. Thankfully, I have my spotters. Always have a spotter there or use spotter arms. I don't really care what kind of weight you're using. Something can always happen. So I was about halfway up and I felt the bar starting to slip off my shelf on the back of my shoulders, and I wrenched my wrist in and thought I had it, and it just slipped out from out of nowhere. Had to bail out from under it, and 475 pounds is a lot of weight to fall 3 feet and land on spotter arms. So it did it in. I don't know if you can really see it, but it's got a slight bend right here. But it's been a good bar. I'll still use it for things such as landmines or whatever I don't really want to damage other bars doing. So, alright, well, thanks for watching. Next week we will do a whole gym home walkthrough review on the rest of my equipment that I have as far as lifting equipment goes. And then eventually I will do one on my accessories such as my wraps, belt, everything else. And there's specific reasons why I chose what I did for those as well. If you enjoy this kind of content, please like, subscribe, let me know in the comments. Also, let me know what you want to see. Thank you for watching. Catch you heavy.